My wife asked me to delete our security camera footage. She said it was because of a privacy concern. She said the neighbors complained. She said a lot of things that night. But I've watched enough footage from that camera over the past 3 years to know exactly what her voice sounds like when she's lying. And that night, it cracked on every single word. I didn't delete it. I watched it instead. All 14 hours of it. And by the time the sun came up, I understood that the woman sleeping next to me, the woman I married, the woman I trusted with my entire life, was someone I had never actually met. If stories like this keep you up at night, hit subscribe right now, because Leon Drama Stories drops a new one every single week, and trust me, this one gets worse. My name is Ethan Carter. I'm 31 years old. I work in commercial real estate in Austin, Texas, and up until 11 days ago, I would have told you my marriage was the one solid thing in my life. 6 years married. No kids yet, though we'd started talking about it. A house in a quiet cul-de-sac in the suburbs, the kind with manicured lawns and a neighborhood watch group nobody takes seriously until something actually happens. I installed the security system myself 2 summers ago, after a string of package thefts on our street. 4 cameras. Front porch, driveway, backyard, and one covering the side gate that led to the garage. Nothing dramatic. I just wanted to know who was walking around my property when I wasn't home. My wife, Claire, worked from home 3 days a week as a marketing consultant. I traveled a fair amount for work site visits, closings, the occasional week-long trip to Dallas or Houston. It was a normal life, a good one, even. We had our routines. Sunday morning coffee on the porch, Friday night takeout and bad reality TV, the kind of marriage that looks boring from the outside and feels safe from the inside. That safety is the thing I miss most now. Because once it's gone, you realize how much of your life you built on top of it. We met in college, in Ohio, at a mutual friend's birthday party neither of us really wanted to go to. She was studying communications, I was finishing up my business degree, and we spent that whole night arguing about a movie neither of us had actually watched all the way through. I proposed 2 years later, on a hiking trail she picked because she said the view at the top would make the moment cinematic. She was right about that, at least. I tell you all of this because I need you to understand that this wasn't some marriage of convenience or some slow fade into indifference. I loved her. I still catch myself, some mornings, reaching for my phone to text her something funny before I remember why I can't. It started on a Tuesday. I'd come home 2 days early from a trip to Houston. A closing fell through, so there was no point staying. I didn't call ahead. I wanted to surprise Claire, maybe take her to dinner. When I pulled into the driveway, I noticed the porch camera light blinking red instead of its usual steady green. Recording, but flagged motion event stored, not yet reviewed. I didn't think much of it at first. Delivery driver, maybe a stray cat setting off the sensor. I went inside. Claire was at her desk, laptop open, looking completely normal. She smiled, hugged me, said she'd missed me. Everything about that moment felt real. But 2 nights later, over dinner, she brought up the cameras out of nowhere. Have you thought about maybe taking those down? Or at least turning off the driveway one? I asked why. I don't know. It just feels like we're always being watched. It's a little much, don't you think? We'd had that camera for 2 years. She'd never once complained about it. Not once. Before we go further, if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Leon Drama Stories is where these true-to-life betrayal stories live, and you do not want to miss what's coming. 3 days later, she asked me directly. Not to take the cameras down, just to delete the footage. All of it, going back 6 months. She framed it carefully, almost rehearsed. I read that these companies store our data and sell it to advertisers. It creeps me out. Can we just wipe it and start fresh? I told her sure, I'd look into it, and I meant it for about a day. Then I actually thought about what she was asking. 6 months of footage. Not 1 week, not 1 day. 6 months. If this were really about privacy, she would have asked to delete everything permanently going forward. Instead, she wanted a very specific chunk of the past erased, one that happened to cover every day I'd been out of town in the last half a year. That's when the cold feeling started in my chest. The kind that doesn't go away no matter how many times you tell yourself you're overreacting. I told her I'd handle it that weekend. I did not handle it. I opened the app on my phone that night, once she was asleep, and I started scrolling backward through the archive. The first few weeks were nothing. Delivery trucks, the mail carrier, Claire watering the plants, normal life, exactly like I remembered it. Then I found a night from 4 months back, a Wednesday, during a week I was in Dallas for 3 days straight. At 11:42 p.m., the driveway camera picked up a car pulling in. Not a car I recognized. A dark gray sedan, parked just off to the side, half hidden by the oak tree we never bothered trimming. A man got out, mid-30s, casual clothes, moved like he'd been there before, not hesitant, not like a stranger checking an address. He walked straight to the side gate, the one only Claire and I had the code for. The side gate camera picked him up next. He typed in the code without checking it twice. The gate opened. He walked through like he owned the place. He didn't leave until 6:15 the next morning. I sat there in the dark, phone in my shaking hands, and I kept scrolling. Because once wasn't an accident. Once could be explained away. But this wasn't once. It was Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Almost every week I traveled, for at least 4 months. I checked my own work calendar against every single date. Everyone lined up perfectly with a trip I'd told her about weeks in advance, which meant this wasn't spontaneous. This wasn't a moment of weakness she stumbled into. Someone had been checking my schedule and planning around it. If you've made it this far, you already know it's about to get worse. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Leon Drama Stories reads every single one. Now, back to the footage. I zoomed in on every frame I could. The porch light caught his face clearly enough in a couple of clips. I didn't recognize him from our friend group, our neighborhood, or anywhere in Claire's social circle that I knew of. Then, on one clip from 2 months back, he said something to Claire. As she let him in, the audio picked up just enough. He called her by a nickname. Not Claire. Not Babe. A nickname I had never heard once in 6 years of marriage. That's when I understood this wasn't new. This wasn't a recent slip, a moment of weakness, a mistake made once and regretted. This was a relationship. One with history. One with its own private language. I did something I'm not proud of. I ran his face through a reverse image search using a screenshot from the clearest frame. It took 2 attempts, but it worked. His name was Marcus. He worked at a marketing firm 2 buildings down from Claire's old office, the one she'd left 8 months ago to go fully remote. 8 months ago, right around when this all seemed to start. I didn't confront her that morning. I needed one more day to be sure, to gather what I could, to decide what I actually wanted to do with what I now knew. I waited until Friday night. Takeout on the counter, untouched. I put my phone on the table between us, open to a single frame Marcus, walking through our side gate at 11:42 p.m. Claire went white. Not confused, not offended. White. The way people go when they're caught. Not when they're wrongly accused. I can explain, she said. You asked me to delete 6 months of footage, I said. Not because of privacy, because of him. She didn't deny it. She sat there and told me it started slow coffee, then dinner, then something she said she didn't plan on happening. But let happen anyway. Over and over, for 4 months, in our house, in our bed, on the nights I was working to pay for that house. She said she loved me. She said it like that was supposed to fix something. I asked her the only question that actually mattered to me in that moment. I asked if she'd ever planned on telling me, or if this would have just kept going, quietly, for as long as she could manage it. She didn't answer right away, and that silence told me more than anything she'd said all night. I'm not going to tell you I handled the next few days perfectly. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat much. I sat with a version of my life I no longer recognized and tried to figure out which parts of the last 6 years had been real and which parts had just been convenient for her. What I can tell you is this. I didn't delete the footage. I backed it up in 3 separate places before I said a single word to a lawyer. Every clip, every timestamp, every gate code entry log. Because here's what I've learned when someone asks you to erase the evidence of your own life. That request tells you everything you need to know. People don't ask you to delete the truth unless the truth is the one thing standing between them and getting away with something. We're separated now. The divorce isn't final, but it will be. And every time I think about deleting those files just to stop looking at them, just to stop feeling that cold drop in my chest, I remind myself why I kept them in the first place. Some people burn the evidence to protect the person they love. I kept mine to protect myself. If this story hit you the way it hit me telling it, subscribe to Leon Drama Stories and turn on that bell. Because next week's story is about a man who found out his missing brother had been living 3 streets away the entire time. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching.